Friday night SmackDown was interesting. Before we continue, I want to get you guys hopes up that this weekend is the Rumble. So whoever's there to experience their first ever WWE event, first Royal Rumble event, uh, please enjoy yourself. That's the most positive thing I can give for you. Because the build for the Royal Rumble in general, I have to say was pretty underwhelming. Not that many primitive stints except some surprise entrances from the roster giving their opinion. The only thing that's going to be that entertaining is either maybe The Undertaker's going to make a surprise appearance, some alumni, maybe Batista or John Cena or CM Punk. I don't know what you losers want. They have no build. 2 belts, 0 build. Other than who's going to be the favorite to win the Royal Rumble. Like, no one's ever going to be like, I need to win the Royal Rumble. Let's join together so we can like no alliances other than feuds. And over the course of this, I was thinking, who else do we have on this roster that's willing to like win the Royal Rumble? You have no primitive guys other than Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Baron Corbin, AJ Styles, McIntyre, and Randy Orton. Probably that's it. We started off this show with a 6-man tag that took up at least 24 minutes. So a main event worthy part of the show opened up the show just for the contract signing that only took like a few minutes. All of the show that Daniel Bryan got whipped hard for a lot of time. It was at least a decent show, a heartwarming promo by the opening match ended in a DQ off a run-on finish. Coming with the Revival coming to assist over a fight. Then it blew back in the later on in the show, just for these guys to continue to fight. But it didn't technically end by then. But Samoan Splash, a couple super kicks there, and it continued off pinfall breaks and just continuous boring moments into the match. It just felt completely dragged off, and it really lost my attention for the first 15 minutes of the show. So don't ever do a match opener, especially if it's not going to be surprising, entertaining, or fast-paced. No one likes a bloated, overloaded, not that much story filling, because this is already just a warm-up match, because Corbin has Roman Reigns in a False Cow Anywhere match in the Rumble. So what was the point of having a tag match other than just to display the Usos and Roman? Shocked there's no Naomi. Lacey Evans cut off this promo over the ramp before Bayley came and attacked her behind. Showed up. It doesn't matter where you're from. It's like this impactful promo, and she came off the last year, since she was spring up to the main roster after like how long? 4 months from NXT to play this monotonous, outdated feminist, old girl power heel. Technically, just a next gen Molly Holly with a more throwback gimmick. And then she comes around, now throwing up a babyface promo, still dressed like she was in the 60s, saying that she served the military. I'm here to do this for all these fans. And it's like, it's a heartwarming promo. But if you've been watching WWE at least regularly, you'll understand this is going to be a load of crap, and this feud is going to be forgettable for like a month or two. So no one's going to care. Thanks, they strictly want Lacey Evans to turn heel, but they've been giving her the screen time for the last, like, 8 months. And over this time, she just lose. Dana Brooke picked up a win. That was weird. And lose again, other than she pinned Bayley that last week on SmackDown. Off a surprise women's right that we don't even know if it's a punch or a forearm to the face. At least William Regal, we know he's using a brass knuckle. it's a slick, but it's a basic heel, but a slick and creative way to actually show that when he literally says he's going to take you down one hand, he really means it. There was also a Dana Brooke segment backstage with Carmella. I didn't want to go over and just. I'm not always on bashing pro wrestlers. I really don't, but it shows how much they're trying to push Dana Brooke ever since her coming in like 2016. And she has basic athletic ability. And it's like whether it's everybody knows your Instagram page, be quiet, Carmella. It's friend against friend and foe against friend and foe against foe. It don't matter. Every woman for themselves. And then Lacey Evans and Bayley just brawl for like the umpteenth time backstage before it got broken up. It was just the most basic promo, the most generic, underwhelming of two women that have the same Botox, ugly plastic surgery face you'll see in the main roster. Then we had a segment, and they're trying to like blast this Otis Mandy Rose storyline in a tag team match. Fire and Desire face off against Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss after sharing wins, and then it ends off a no contest for something that been building up the show like a bit of a tiny little romantic comedy with Mandy Rose and Otis got completely bookered up, so we know that, oh my god, it's the female Royal Rumble. Everybody we gotta fight. Everyone for themselves. And just went to a 6-woman brawl, punching each other, and Nikki Cross beats the crap out of Sonya Deville. Bayley tries to beat the crap out of, obviously, Lacey Evans. And Alexa Bliss comes involved. It just went into a basic segment. No one really cared about the hype for the Women's Royal Rumble that hasn't been really that highly endorsed since its inception back in 2018 when Asuka won it for the first time. And then Becky Lynch got her super mega push, winning the Rumble, main eventing WrestleMania, holding the Raw Women's belt for multitudes of times. It didn't even matter that she was a dual champion coming into the year, coming around saying this dumb crap on Twitter, having these multitudes of matches, and yet, overall this time, they even had a female pay-per-view, all female pay-per-view, and nobody cares, and they want to take it like it was so game-changing. It's not game-changing if they wouldn't do it for a second time. It's not. I'm not doing this to be a dick. I'm not doing this to be, like, pessimistic. I'm not doing this to do that and be like, I fucking hate Smart. I'm doing this because it's really not that enticing. And WWE's doing this to themselves, shooting themselves in the foot when they know they have the talent. They have no way of building it up, and they have so much wrestling content that they don't take it like it's any women for themselves, since everybody wins the women's belts now. Hell, shit, when was the last 5 times you've seen Charlotte win the women's title other than beating Asuka or Becky Lynch? People forget how she became 10-time women's champion, beating Bayley. I mean, yeah, she beat Bayley back on Money in the Bank. No, I think it was Becky Lynch because she was dual champion. But she won it for the 10th time. And as soon as that happened, Bayley cashed in for the women's title and won it. So the point of that just lessens the prestige of the belt. And they've been doing this for such a long-ass time since 2010. Kane was the first person to actually use the Money in the Bank briefcase in the pay-per-view after winning it and pinning Rey Mysterio. Then the next person to do it was Dean Ambrose back in 2016. Then the next person to do it was Bayley. I was about to say Carmella for a split second until I knew she did that in after WrestleMania 34. So that's completely out the question. I completely am agitated off this thing. It just ruins the whole momentum and drive of why in the hell you want to make this women's division in the first place. Change divas. We know we don't respect the women's division in general because they don't respect themselves. And even if they do, They never have the promos that don't sound less generic. And Becky Lynch is supposed to be the change of the mold. Stone Cold Steve Austin of the women's division, and yet she still says the most generic, monotonous promos that don't go against what AJ Lee did over her time back in the day when she hated the culture, how it was suck ups based on relationships you had in the company to get yourself over, not real pure effort and pure skill and results that AJ Lee did. And I wish it was stuff like that was back here in the women's division. They actually give them pride to continue working because it's just the same generic crap. We had Elias and it was Braun Strowman saying, "Let's get to work." Like, what the fuck? Didn't you guys just started like aligning with each other since a little bit of interruption with Cesaro, Nakamura intervening with your song last week, and this is the reason why you guys are tagging together. There really needs to be a GM. I'm really getting angry. I'm really am getting angry. Oh boy. Oh man. Yeah. So there was a tag team match. The biggest move of the match was, I guess, a high knee. Cesaro got a few uppercuts and oh fuck me, he lifted Strowman like it was nothing. Nakamura came with the same basic maneuvers. Sami Zayn came jumping around like gefilte fish to time. Sorry, gefilte fish jumping around off Nakamura's entrance. It was so trash. So a power slam. Nakamura. Nakamura slammed Cesaro to the set and set him up for Elias's elbow drop. Picked up the victory. It was nothing. It was a nothing match. It was just a build, I guess, an Intercontinental title feud with Strowman and Nakamura, but very little build there is, the better. It's just Sami Zayn just off his promo. It was just off his rocker. The last several weeks, there's not much of build except Strowman picked up victories against Nakamura and Cesaro. There was no build. There's nothing to see, like, you changed the design of the belt, and for no reason. It didn't change any effect that the Intercontinental title already lost relevancy since Finn Balor held on to it. Biggie Langston greasing himself backstage. Why didn't he do this at the Royal Rumble? He said preparation for the Rumble. You're live on Friday. You can't stay greased till Sunday. Plus, every other wrestler greases themselves up. Every other match for the Rumble. That's why Steve Austin was accidentally eliminated from the Rumble, I think, like 96 or 97. Comes around, touching this man up, some tiny little midget. Then Becky comes kissing after saying, "This is for my dog, Xavier Woods. Yeah, just for our injured brother." And then he comes around hugging. It's this big tittied man comes around hugging some midget, helping him grease up for a pay-per-view that's on a Sunday when they're on a show on Friday. Like, that makes no sense to me. That just looks sus. That looked weird. Sheamus cut a pre-recorded promo. He has pre-recorded over his feud with Shorty C. And he said he'll finish what he started after hitting him with the broad kick. So somehow they're trying to make this into a personal feud because he pushed him. I understand this is over a little bit of a out of nowhere heel turn like what he did to Ziggler like 2015 when he came back with the mohawk. Now he's back with the old hair, and he comes bro kicking Shorty G, and now they're feuding. And obviously it's going to be a David and Goliath match. The match might be a bit watchable, it's going to last for like 7 minutes. And it's like, this is like the level of feuding you guys had over the past 5 weeks you guys had to build up until the Rumble? Y'all had 2 pay-per-views on November. You had like TLC on December. Like, you guys couldn't build up anything until then because most of these guys are coming back from injury. And your pay-per-view is going to be stuffed to the wall with injury-prone or either part-timing veteran loser jobbers that are not even going to win the Royal Rumble. And it will give it to, like, Brock or something. So rather you're going to give it to somebody like Mustafa Ali or something. I'm really wishing for the worst. I would wish I could say freaking Roman Reigns or not. I don't think Andrade's going to be in it. McIntyre. Yeah, I think Andrade's going to be on it. Orton. It's just not going to be that impressive at all. John Morrison faced off against Kofi Kingston in a fast-paced match that ended with Starship Pain still with no hands. Don't know why. I always find it slicker when he just pulls himself up, does that little corkscrew, and slams on his opponent. Big turnaround and some fast-paced moves. It was a really nice match. Going all right. Miz came for something until Kofi Kingston gave a triangle drop kick, and I think Biggie got a put. I think Biggie pushed him for this. I don't know what's with Miz getting attacked by black people now. This is weird. The Miz is just getting attacked by black people. Biggie helps break up an illegal pin, is leading to attack him, ensuring chaos. Morrison was able to lay out more. I think it was off some kind of drop kick, and then hit him with a Starship Pain. The match was good though, entertaining, fast-paced match. I know they're trying to build up to maybe a tag team title match after the Royal Rumble, just so there can be a title change for once. Because I don't think the New Day has defend their title since that last time they were hot potatoing the belt back in November or October against the Revival because of controversy. And we know the Revival are going to lose. They might hit up Ring of Honor or something. I heard they're backed out of talent. Thanks, most of them keep leaving for AEW. We had the contract signing, and all I could say is that contract signing was so basic. I thought they were replaying Kane coming out. They're just doing that for nostalgia factor. He was just there for one-off return. They weren't even able to have a tag team match because they're doing this nobody was associated with the Fiend. So it was just a basic contract signing. Michael Cole waddled his way out the ring for the Fiend to make an appearance. Daniel Bryan just came around doing, I'm the one to help because you're sick. I'm not sick. They're literally trying to play off the Joker right now. Dual personality, weird, split-sided weirdo that is Bray Wyatt. And it's I already lost the hype came October. And it's not because of the Hell in a Cell match. It was just the build-up was so underwhelming. He's like, I'm taking up all these victims from behind when the lights are off. The old Bray Wyatt gimmick was basic as well, and it was so it just came from one of the most intimidating parts of Raw to generic. It was gimmicky, but at least it built up this mythos of this weird cult leader with these guys following them. Sister Abigail. Everybody had hype for that. Everybody. And the biggest thing going on for Bray Wyatt was Liv Morgan associating with him being Sister Abigail. Are you serious? The girl that associates with the Riot Squad, you want her to play that type of big role for your future top star? This ends up with a strap match signing. Bray Wyatt then stabs himself with a pen with blood all over. Hits the blood on the contract like it's sealed or something, trying to make this deeper than it already is. Daniel Bryan just comes around getting whipped a lot. And I think it was... I want to feel like this is one of the more crazier parts of SmackDown, but for me, it just doesn't faze me. It doesn't. It doesn't make it that uncomfortable because we know it's Bray Wyatt. We know what Bray Wyatt can do. He isn't as hardcore as some of the other guys I see from around the indies or some other superstars that literally technically put their bodies on the line or something way worse. So I hope this match is good. It's a strap match. I haven't seen it since notably JTG versus Shad Gaspard, Extreme Rules 2010. So that was technically it of strap matches for me. I don't think I remember anymore. If there is somebody, please comment that below, because I have very bad memories when it comes to crappy, forgettable matches with stipulations that should be memorable. Another one was that of Judgment Day 2009 against Samoa Joe and Umaga. That's my history of it. If anybody was going to reference the cowbell match against Randy Orton and Dusty Rhodes like Great American Bash 2007. That wasn't a strap match. Different type of stipulation. And I think he still had to win by pinfall. So that's technically it for my Friday Night SmackDown go home show for the Royal Rumble. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. I give this a 4. This was mediocre. The build was poor. There was one good match on the show. The opening match dragged out. There was very little build up. Feuds that are underwhelming. It feels like no championship is in the threat of being lost. We know Bray Wyatt's going to retain the belts. The tag titles hasn't been defended in a while. There's less prestige as there already is for the SmackDown Women's title. Nobody gives a crap because these women just beat each other up in a random face turn that had no reason except to just get Bayley to face off against a babyface. And what of it is that it's a young talent instead of somebody else more established like Sasha Banks. Why don't we give Sasha Banks her own faction already? And they have her winning like the Royal Rumble just so that she can beat Bayley with this fantasy booking crap. It's dumb. It's dumb. There's barely any established women to begin with, thanks. Most of them are injured or either irrelevant. You had Dana Brooke winning a match. Dana Brooke. No one cares about Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke doesn't care about Dana Brooke. That's how sad she is as a character and a pro wrestler. That's just me being honest. I really don't care about Dana Brooke. John Morrison is going to obviously appear at the Royal Rumble. Kofi Kingston. I have low expectations for the Royal Rumble, and it's been like that not since 2015 when Roman Reigns. At least people had faith that Roman Reigns was going to be that prime eventer until they know that he couldn't cut promos worth a damn or sell a wrestling match to save his life to actually make something more compelling. It was 2016 when they were like strictly out of ideas, and they just made a title defense and give Triple H just a reason to get the guy over. That was forced. 2017 was even worse. I think it was Randy Orton winning, and then took the belt away from Bray Wyatt. Underwhelmingly, failing a push for a guy they had since 2014. 2018 was worser, thanks he gave it to a Japanese star that barely can speak a lick of English and can't tell storytelling in a Western perspective that's going to feel really underwhelming and have the rip-off Wrestle Kingdom feud with AJ Styles. That went nowhere. In 2019, Rollins just became from the most underappreciated and the top stars from 2018 to the most disliked wrestler of 2019. So that's already a failed product. So any parts of the Royal Rumble, at least be entertaining. I don't give a damn if it's going to be at least a 5-hour waste of time or a 6-hour waste of time with a waste of time kickoff match. At least be an entertaining pay-per-view. Because if you can't be like that, no one's going to remember any part of the show for 4 months. Other than who won it. And Dolph Ziggler better not be ripping off any more Shawn Michaels, Chris Benoit spots. Or I'm going to drink to that. I'm being serious. That's technically it. Hopefully you guys liked the review. Still need some information on the comment section for anything I missed out. But that's literally my take. I did not like this episode of SmackDown. Hopefully you did. Or did not. Like, comment, and subscribe. That's coming up from the DST show. I thank everyone for watching.